Yo, what's up? This is Raquel with the Reading Roller Coaster Club. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to go over a haul that I did over the past weekend. I have some library books and I have some books that I got from a garage sale. The first books that I'm going to go over are the garage sale books because it's only 4 of them. If you don't know, which you probably don't because I'm new here, I like to go thrifting a lot. I get a lot of my books from Goodwill, thrift stores, garage sales, little libraries, things like that. I like to get them. It's like books that I really, really want or I've really, really been anticipating. Like when I know, I'll bust down and buy them like from Target or whatever like that. But most of the times I get older books or things like that or add to my collection. Like right here, all my Frida books. Some of these I got from garage sales. Most of them I did. Some of them I bought brand new. Um, it's just whatever. But for the most part, I do like to thrift my books. Um, and maybe once I get comfortable, like vlogging or whatever y'all call it, I'll start taking y'all along on with. This is also my speech therapy. Let me just throw that out there. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I am a fucking mess. I can't talk for shit. I don't know why. You would think that I could talk right because it's just me and this phone. I can talk right in real life, I promise. But for some reason, when I get on these videos, I get like, I can't speak. Ugh. So this is like a freaking speech therapy for me. I don't even know what the hell I was saying. But let's just get right into the haul. Fuck whatever I was saying. Okay? I'm tripping over my words again, dude. In every video that I fucking make, I swear I trip over my damn words.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Yeah. So, I'm a thrifter. I think that's what I was saying. But we're moving on. The moment has passed. The first book that I got, oh, the price is still on there. It was 50 cents. So I think all these books were 50 cents. So you can't beat that. But this is by Stacy Willingham, and it's called All the Dangerous Things. I have yet to read a book by this. That's another thing. This one, I know I can't really say. I know it's author, but I always say Arthur. So at any point further past this point, if you hear me say Arthur, I really mean author. Okay? Follows a woman, Isabel. Her son, Mason. He goes missing in the middle of the night out of his crib. He is a toddler. Of course, Isabel is devastated. From that point on, she can't eat, sleep, shit, do anything because, of course, her son is out there in the world. No telling what is happening with him. She is concerned. And then a podcaster reaches out to her and says, "Can I talk to you about your son's case? Like, let's get it out there." I'm assuming. I don't know. I haven't read the book. She agrees. What she does not expect is that this podcaster has done some digging on her. And apparently there's some things in her childhood that come up and he dredges up the past, and it has her questioning everything now from the night that her son went missing. And so the last line on this says, she is determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. So I want to know, where does it lead? Yes. And it's also gives like the cover and all that kind of gives me like summer at the lake, like lakey summer vibes. And I'm a vibe reader. I'm a seasonal reader, vibes. Like right now we're entering close to our little summer vibe era. So I'm going to start picking up and gravitating to more beachy reads. I'm not a real, okay, at this point I don't know if I should stop saying I'm not a romance reader because Abby Jimenez kind of reeled me in. And I've read Part of Your World. I read Yours Truly. And I'm gonna read Just for the Summer. I have it right here. I'm gonna read Just for the Summer this summer. So I don't know. Am I a romance reader? I don't know. But thrillers, like anything that gives me summery vibes, is probably what I'm gonna be gravitating toward now. Next book is The Perfect Marriage. I've already read this book. I wanted it for my shelf because I have The Perfect Divorce. I have not read The Perfect Divorce, but I've read The Perfect Marriage. I gave this 4 stars, I think. Another book that I've read that I'm adding to my shelf is The Silent Patient. um, by Alex Michaelides. I don't like mispronouncing people's name. I'm sorry, I did not look that up beforehand. So I got that one. And then another book that I might give a try because I've heard so much about these little books are the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. I am so glad I got through that title. By a Gilmore girl. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm starting rumors. Her name is Lori Gilmore. I've heard about like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and stuff like that, but look. Something about strawberries just gives me like summer. So that is all for my garage sale. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the library books that I got. The first book that I got was Holly Jackson's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I have read 2 YA books, and one was alright, one was really good. Those were both by Megan Lally. That's Not My Name, 5 stars. No Place to Hide, I gave 3 stars. But this book and Rachel Price, The Disappearance of Rachel Price, have been on my TBR. So I said, now or never. No, just pick it up. Just do it. You're already reading YA. Just do it. This sounded interesting. This follows a girl named Pip who is a senior in high school, and she's going to do a senior project on a tragedy that happened with a girl that went to school. Her name was Andy Bell, and her boyfriend was Sal Singh, and they passed away in a very bad tragedy. And so she picks up this case and then starts discovering that maybe what it seems is not what it was. So is she gonna crack this case wide open? Is she gonna make the police realize that they were wrong? I don't know. We're gonna find out, and I'm here for it. And there are 2 other books: A Good Girl, Bad Blood, and As Good as Dead. I believe this is 1 out of 3. The next one is a Jennifer Hillier book because I've also been on a Jennifer Hillier kick. I just recently read Creep and Freak. I have read Jars of Heart, and I have read Little Secrets. And I plan on reading Wonderland, but I'm waiting to see if my book club wants to read it because I feel like, it's about a like carnival-y, has a carnival in it. And I feel like that kind of gives like summer free, carefree kind of vibes. So if they don't want to read it, then I'm going to go on a solo mission. But I'm going to read that one in June probably. So then that brings us to Things We Do in the Dark. So supposedly this follows a girl named Paris. They find her boyfriend dead in a bathtub. She knows she's going to be charged with the murder, but she's more worried about something else coming up. And on the sideline, there's a girl named Ruby Reyes who gets released out of prison because she's known as the Ice Queen. And she was charged for some kind of similar murder. And now Paris is scared that Ruby is getting out because that means other things are going to come out. So I guess everything done in the dark is starting to come to light, and I want to know what that is. The next book I got because I had read another book by this author, and that is The Hitchhikers by Chevy Stevens. A few months ago, I read Those Girls, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought, why not? Let's give Chevy another go at it and see how this one is. And plus, I'm like, it's summery to me. It says it's in the summer of 1976. And it's Alice and Tom set out to a remote Canadian highway in their new RV, hoping to heal the broken hearts after a devastating tragedy. They run into some hitchhikers, Ginny and Simon, and let's see where that journey comes. Did they make a mistake? It says desperation is a dark road. Is it a game of survival? I don't know. It sounds interesting. And a fun fact about me, I love books that are set in the 80s, 90s, 70s. I have yet to read a book in the early 2000s. So I don't know. But I love when books are set like that. So the summer of 1976, you already reeled me. Hitchhikers with a title like that. The first line, summer 76, I'm in. Chevy Stevens, The Hitchhikers. Let's go. This book I picked up with this haul, but I've already read it. So it's going to be in my April roundup, which is coming out soon. I'm almost done with that one. And that is Alice Feeney's Beautiful Ugly. This follows a guy, Grady Green. He's a writer. And he's waiting to see if he makes the New York bestseller. Then he does. So he's excited. So the first person he wants to call is his wife, Abby. He calls Abby. Abby answers. She's ecstatic. She's so happy for him. And then he hears her brakes screech in the background. And she's like, oh my gosh, there's a lady laying in the street. And he's like, don't get out, call the police. But this is a thriller. So homegirl gets out and disappears. And he never sees her again from that point on. Then a year passes by. He's still grieving. And his agent tells him that his publisher is like, what the fuck? You promised us a 2-book deal. We've only got one. Where's the money? Yada, yada, yada. So she's like, you know what? There was this other writer, Charles, who was older. He passed away. He left the cabin on this remote island. Why don't you go out there, clear your mind, try to get inspiration, and write this book? Well, while he's out there, he swears that he sees Abby. So we just go on the journey with him to figure out if Abby is really there. This island of Amberley, we get to discover all the people and things on there. It was a good book. I already read it, so yeah, it was a good book. But that was part of my library haul. And then this book. Okay. I got the book by Ann Rule called If You Really Loved Me. Okay. I got this book because I read Ann Rule's The Lust Killer. I cannot recollect if I had read any Ann Rule books before in the past, because I've been reading for a long time in my life. And my current memory says that I have not, besides The Lust Killer. So I don't want to be a liar. So I'm just putting out a asterisk. But The Lust Killer was so good. Like, it was horrible, but her writing was so good. It was so detailed, straight to the point, nothing complicated, and I enjoyed that. And I was pretty shook by this guy, The Lust Killer. If you don't know, I have 2 very long ass videos on my channel as we speak about this guy, because I was just like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? If I didn't know, other people might not know. And if I was interested, other people are probably interested. So I made 2 long ass videos. I did a deep dive, spoiler of course, because this is a true crime, real life shit that happened book on The Lust Killer. Jerry Brudos, in a nutshell, was a monster who, as a child, became obsessed with high heels, and as a man, started slaying women because of it. So if that sounds interesting to you, go check out my 2 videos. They're literally, one of them's like almost 2 hours long. But that is because I really put time into researching this monster. And I put from the day he was born to the day he died and everything in between. So yes, that made me pick up this book. And another interesting thing about this book, here in my hand, this thickums, Chunky Funky Monkey, that I can't make promises because I'm an unreliable narrator. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to finish this book or I'm going to read it in May. But I will tell you that is truthful. I'm going to hit the renew button on my library app until they tell me give me my fucking book back. And hope that I get to read this book. Okay? But fun fact, when I was a kid, I used to be watching Lifetime movies at a time when I should not have been watching all them crazy Lifetime movies and psycho boyfriends and stuff. But I saw a movie. And the movie was called Love, Lies, and Murder. And the reason why that stood out to me was because the little girl, the teenager in this book, the true story, this is a true real life thing that happened. Her name was Cinnamon. And that is a very unique name. So right away, I was like transported back to the 90s and was like, I seen that movie about that little girl, Cinnamon. So when I do tackle this book, I do want to find that movie probably on YouTube. It's probably somewhere, and watch it after I read the book. But let me tell you, this is about a man named David. He talks, allegedly, I don't remember what happened afterwards, but allegedly he talked his teenage daughter into taking out her stepmother. I believe it was like for some insurance money or something like that. And this follows the real life case of that and what happened afterwards. I have not thought about this case or remembered this case until I was like, I wonder what other books Ann Rule wrote. And I went down to the bookshelf and I seen this. I read the back and I was like, Cinnamon? That sounds familiar. That's not a name you hear every day. Sure enough, I had seen the Lifetime movie way back when. So I was like, be kind of interesting to read the book. So yeah, If You Really Loved Me by Ann Rule was another book that I hauled. Three more. Okay, I'm almost out your hair. This said he had it coming. This is by Corey Rumore and Marianne Mather, and this is 4 cases of women who have committed crimes and the stories behind them. I thought it was pretty cool because it has a lot of pictures. It has like death certificates. It has letters. I like stuff like that, and it's true crime. So this book, I'm probably going to skim through and read what I want to read, or just look at the pictures, things like that. But I like to look at stuff like that, which brings me to my next book. So the word memorabilia, but with murder. Murderabilia. I don't know if I'm saying that. Murderabilia. By this guy. Harold. That guy. Okay. And this book is like that one too. This is full of random shit, random items, and the stories behind them. It has like the Lizzie Borden story, a shovel that was used to bury the bodies of Alice and Nellie. What the hell? Handcuffs from Chester Gillette. It just has a bunch of random stories. What is that? I think I saw the Zodiac one. Hold on. The real letter he sent. It has stuff like that. There was even one that said Jeffrey Dahmer candy wrapper, something like that. I don't know. So I decided to pick this one up and just scan it. And last but not least, I picked up for month of May. This is actually my book club pick. So if you don't know, if this is your first video, again, welcome and thank you if you've made it this far. But I have a book club on the app Fable under the same name, the Reading Roller Coaster Club. And we are going to be, currently we are reading Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. But May 1st, we're going to be starting Love Mom by Ileana Zander. And we're going to be reading this May 1st through 16th. And then after that, we're going to read Mad Wife by Megan Church, I believe. I'm sorry if that's not who it's by. I think it's by Megan Church. This book follows a girl named Mackenzie, whose mother is a writer, and she writes dark psychological thrillers. But then she passes away. And during her funeral, I believe, she receives a letter that has excerpts from her mother's diary. And she keeps getting these letters. And then eventually she starts thinking, like, was my mother writing from fact and not fiction? Like, what the hell is going on? So we go along with her on that journey to figure out if her mother indeed was making these stories up or if they were real life. And so, yeah. So this brings me to another thing. I post what books we're going to read in my book club in the post section on YouTube. If you want to become part of my book club, if you don't want to be on Fable, leave a comment down below if y'all would like to do book club on here as well, to where we read the book and then we can go live and talk about it. I'm down for that. Yeah. Not the whole point. I wouldn't say the whole point. But a big reason too, while I made this YouTube channel, is because I'm very, very introverted and socially awkward. And I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to force myself to be sociable to an extent. Like, even me just sitting here talking to the camera to myself was like weird and awkward for me. If you go back to my first videos, it's very apparent. And I think this is only like my 12th video. But I've already got kind of comfortable with the camera than when I first started. But I want to get comfortable conversating too with people. And so with that being said, I do want to answer every comment that is left. But also keep in mind that I am speech therapy. I'm also a very awkward person. So sometimes I don't know what to say. I feel like somewhere in life, I lost my personality. I don't know if that came with age. I don't know if I'm alone on that. But I used to not be like this. This is so dumb. I used to not be like this. I used to be so outgoing. I used to be a people person. I used to know how to conversate. I used to know how to start conversations. And now I'm just very awkward, very quiet, very to myself, very much a loner. Like I said, in my other videos, I've 2 friends that live hours apart from me. So it's really just me and my family members. I am the only book person in my life. So I also use this platform as an outlet to get this out and be like, this is what I read, this is what I think, this is whatever. And I can be chaotic at times, yes, but working on myself, okay? It's a process. Now, if you do see any of my other videos, first of all, why don't you subscribe? If you've already watched more than 2 of my videos, quit creeping and subscribe. But second of all, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying not to be such a chatty Cathy. I'm trying to work on my speech impediment that I have. And I'm trying, okay, I'm not anybody with a real speech impediment. I don't know. I might have a real speech impediment. I don't fucking know. Because sometimes I can't talk. Okay? But I'm working on myself is the point. Okay? I'm trying to get better at these videos. But I always get awkward. I think that's where I have squirrel brain. I should be squirrel brain read, squirrel brain books, because I literally have squirrel brain. I don't even think that's what I was talking about. But I get awkward at the end of all my fucking videos, okay? I don't know what to say. I don't know how to shut it down. So what I'm going to say is thank you. Thank you for making it this far. Yay! And if you did, you're the real MVP. I hope to see you come back. I'm going to be uploading my April roundup pretty soon. Maybe film it tomorrow. Again, I recently uploaded my Lust Killer deep dives. They are really long. But I wanted to cover as much as possible. But you can still read the book, because even though it's going to seem like I did everything from the book, there was still so much more. What else? I think that's it for now. Have a good day. Be a good human. Again, thank you for sticking around this long. I hope you subscribe. I hope you like. I don't know how I feel about you sharing. I don't know. I'm weird. Have a good one. Goodbye.